GM, ladies, gentlemen, and fantasy top enjoyers, one and all. Welcome to another exciting episode of Fantasy Top Down presented by Metaverse HQ. It is your host, Silva Surger, joined by my lovely compatriot from across the pond, Ezrin. How you doing this morning, Ezrin?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you? Been a
Doing
bit
well.
rushed.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
good?
same.
But we're here. The
Right?
time difference caught me out. I forgot that we did a whole British clock moving malarkey, but that just kind of messes everything up with you guys. So we got here. We arrived.
By plane, train, and automobile, somehow we all got here, man.
Yeah.
We also have a very, very special guest with us this morning. It is none other than the developer and creator of one of the most widely, if not the most widely used tool across Fantasy Top, especially with so many of the top players. We have the one and only Clayton Mooney. Clayton, GM, my friend, how are you?
DM guys, great to be here. Excited to hopefully bring the run good for some of the pack openings.
Let's
Yes.
go.
We need it. Last week was shocking.
Yeah, man. If you tuned in last week, you know we hit a whole bunch of garbage between the two of us. So fingers crossed you're bringing the luck today. All right, folks. So without further ado, let's hop right in. After a week off, as we tended to some family things here and there, we are back and we are ready to look through our weeks. And I think, Ezra, what better time than right now as rewards just came out.
Yes, I know. We seem to time this pretty well.
Right? I mean, I don't know if it's us or if it's, Travis and Kippet and Mikado, the devs doing us a favor, but either way, I will take it.
We do. How did you get on this week?
Let's see. I think I fell off a little bit toward the end. Let's see. Okay. So, total winnings it looks like about 0.084 ETH, 113,000 fan, 1461 fragments, so should get, nearly 15 cards from there.
Love it.
And yeah, decent, right? I'd say that's right around, maybe even a little below my average. But that's okay. I think at points I was in the 0.2 plus ETH range, so a little sad to see that come down, but that's usually how it goes, right?
Yeah. I know it's almost. I feel like if you're looking good on day one or two, you can forget anything good at the end.
Yep. Yeah. Next week I'll be hoping that I'm in last place on the first day so that I can actually trend upward for once.
Do you know? I've never been that guy. I've been crap from the start to the end. I've been good at the start and then fallen off at the end. I want to know who is mid and then gets better.
That
I've
is
never
a
met that guy.
Yeah, that is a great point. I would love to meet them and have them on this show so they can teach us their wise ways.
Maybe it's Clayton. Have you been mid and then got better?
So I like to see 3 of the 5 heroes post in that first day. If it's 4 or 5, it does seem like I end up dropping off. But if it's a solid start, 3 heroes, banger post, then I'm feeling pretty good to ramp up for kind of day 2 and day 3.
Okay. That's maybe what I need.
Yeah, that's
I
an
think
interesting layout there. Never thought of it that way.
because like DB had a bit of a he had a mid post, and then I thought, oh, he's gonna do his DB thing, right? He's gonna be number one or number two, and then he just sort of like struggled to break that top barrier, and then there was
I
like
saw
weird
he
hacking
was
things. It was weird.
yeah, the hacking. Do we know that he has full access to his account again?
I believe so. Yeah, I didn't read anything different. I had alerts on him, so I saw the whole thing, and then I saw he deleted some of the tweets. So I still had the push notifications from like the whole situation, but then when I actually logged to see more than the initial first sentence, I saw that a lot of it had been cleared up and whatever. So yeah, I think he's
Wow.
back to normal, but yeah, bit of a weird one, that one.
It was
Would that
funny.
have hurt his points?
I think deleting does hurt your points a little bit. I can't remember where exactly the discourse landed on that, but I could have sworn that's what led to a little bit of Gout's kind of downtrend. The last few weeks and months before he popped back up was that, he would post something, and if it didn't kind of take off within the first hour or two, he would delete it. So I do want to say there was speculation that deleting posts too quickly would hurt your score, but I don't know if we ever got a solid answer from the devs.
I think the answer is if you delete it within the first 2 or 3 hours. I can't remember the exact number. I feel it's three. I did see some info. If you delete it early enough, it doesn't affect your score.
Oh, right on. Okay.
That's good to know. I was wondering last night as the hack was ongoing, as soon as he made, there were a few hacked tweets, and then he got back into the account, said, my account is hacked, don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. My first thought was, this is going to rocket him up the fantasy charts, isn't it?
That's right.
Everyone looking at the hacked tweet, sharing that one in Discords, right? I know like in MVHQ and a lot of popular servers, there's like scam channels or scam pings. So I was thinking to myself, this guy is going to get first place due to getting his account hacked. Like, what a world.
Yeah,
What a
he
world
finished
indeed.
14th in the end, so it's still a good effort.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I'll finish this up and quit droning on, but 75th in Elite, so a little lower than I like to be, but not too terrible. 127th in Gold, 123rd in Silver, so again, it just kind of goes back to some of the methodology we talk about, how none of them are as high as I would like, but that shows me, at least with my best entrance in each level, I'm doing something right. Like I'm getting close to that top 100. I mean, I think last week I had a top 30 in Gold, and I've definitely had a couple top 30, top 20s in Silver. So, not the best, but after the week we've seen in crypto and all the blood in the streets and every charts being down, 90+%, I will take my 0.084 ETH and 1400 fragments straight to the bank.
Yeah, I don't know what was your second. Sorry, you've cracked on now.
Oh, no,
But I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say the second elite line. I guess it maybe was too many stars, right? Ignore me.
No,
I was gonna
no.
say. No, I was gonna say if that placed in gold, what was in there? 87488. Yeah, okay, it's too much.
Yeah, that's usually outside of my tip top kind of lineup. I throw in elite with a couple legendaries and some of my better elite cards. The rest of these are just 8 stars that I couldn't really fit in elsewhere. Or like,
Gotcha.
I only had the one leftover epic, and I didn't really want to play Charlotte Fang because he's been all over the place with his posting. I didn't want to play him in gold and rely on him, and I think that bore out well. So I just throw him in with the rest of the dregs into an elite line.
Nice. Yeah, so it's just fragment farming, really.
Yeah, and hey, 2.5 cards out of it. That's honestly more than I
Ooh.
expected. So,
Uh-oh. Failed to claim.
oh,
What happened?
classic.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
This is what happens.
So what
Sorry, go ahead,
This is
Clayton.
what they meant.
what league do you find yourself spending the most time in deck building or get most excited by?
Great question, man. Honestly, it's gold. I think gold really is that sweet spot for me where, and I think it like kind of, it's already saying I claim, so I'm just gonna leave this screen. Gold is that sweet spot for me, Clayton, where I don't have a ton of epics, but I've got a decent stable, right? Pentoshi, Adam Cochran, Davis, Min, Tiger and me can be a little wishy-washy, same as Charlotte Fang, but it gives me enough wiggle room in my stars where like, I see Min is down to a 5-star. Normally he's a 6 or a 7. So I can usually find one, sometimes maybe even 2 lineups where I can pull, Min and maybe Davis or Min and Adam Cochran with a couple of my nicer rares. And that'll give me what I think is really my best shot at having like a top winning lineup in that league.
Right on. Yeah, and I like how you pointed out, according to your portfolio, that's what's best.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I find myself, telling new players is, what do you want to build for? What leagues excite you? Or if you already have a collection, where can we kind of lean into that?
Yep, that's exactly what I feel. Like I think earlier in my fantasy top journey, I just tried to shoehorn everything into either elite or silver, right? Like I kind of skipped gold entirely, but as it's grown, I've kind of built out a few more of my epic heroes, and I do think I've got some mid to top tier epics, but I have some really nice rares. Kook, base 16, Kaleo, Stowe, Easy, Luca, Bread. So I feel like every couple of weeks I've got the ingredients to have a really successful gold line. So something I've learned along the way, and happy I learned that lesson sooner rather than later.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Um, Ezrin. So since it's already kind of it rugged me of my opening for my rewards, should I just jump straight into some pack ripping?
Do it, man. Let's go. Let's see. Yeah,
Wee!
I think you clicked the button, and then when you went back, it was like, nope, you've already done this.
Nope, nope, you
So
can't have it. This is why we can't have nice things, folks.
yeah, what are you going to go full on Jades? Okay.
You have to.
Full max Jade. Full send it.
Yep.
Yeah, I did a Sapphire last week.
How'd that go? What'd you end up getting out of it?
Can't remember, which means it was crap.
Oh shoot.
That was a picture perfect answer there.
Yeah, no recollection.
Oh man.
Definitely wasn't good.
While we're waiting for this, 50 or so seconds to kind of count down, Clayton, I know Ezra and I have we've kind of waffled a little bit in the past on it as far as spending all your fragments week of, holding them maybe for new heroes, where or even not even new heroes, but when inflation scores get adjusted, if a hero goes MIA for a week or two. So I wanted to ask, do you have a particular strategy there? I mean, do you have like a hard and fast rule that you live by, or are you more flexible with seeing how you spend your fragments on packs, depending on what heroes are posting, not posting, inflation scores, all that?
Yeah, so I probably overanalyze it, but from what I've done in the New Blast City Discord and the community there's over 100 of us who are competitively playing Fantasy Top every single week. I've actually crowdsourced a kind of a bunch of that data depending on like what people were opening. And then I put together this kind of cost to EV ratio of all of the packs and the wheel spin. Pre-blast ending season 2 early, the wheel spin I think was the best EV. But as soon as that ended, no more gold, etc. Then the Jade packs were the clear winner, especially with the Calio with the higher inflation degree when he came back. Some of the numbers showed that like essentially like Calio was in 8% of packs, which was pretty crazy for a hero like that.
Wow.
Whoa, that's nuts.
Yeah, Jade's all the way today for me. So I haven't claimed my my rewards or done anything with them today, but I'll be opening Jade's later.
Amazing, man. Amazing. All right, we got 15 Jades ready to be claimed right here, folks. Oop, but I need to take this off screen so I can put in my fun authenticator code, which Ezrin tries to hack from me every single week, but not this week, Ezrin.
Ah, damn. You know what though? I've not even seen, because it was a bit last minute. I've not even seen if we're on. We always have this theory that there's a lever where they either turn on the good shit or turn it off. And it's definitely just a theory. But at the same time, I've not looked to see if anyone's pulling any good shit this week.
Checker from I haven't looked at any of the kind of global feeds myself, but I do know Checker's in the chat right now. He said he pulled an art school reject. So
okay,
yeah,
which I do believe was not a top performing hero, therefore must be up in the inflation score, right?
Interesting. Yeah, that would make sense.
Let me see where they finished.
All right.
Oh, 41st. That's not that bad. Okay.
No.
Okay.
There you go, top 50.
Yeah, I mean, and they can be an 8-star hero whenever they feel like it, really.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's go.
Here we go.
Come on, Silva. Get something good, man.
15 burger. Let's go. Oh, do you see what's peeking? You see what's peeking out?
A rare, bro.
Ooh!
Get rid of that. Get rid of that gleb. Let's get going. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, could be worse.
Not the best, but yeah.
It's a rare. It's nice.
Boo wob.
Oh, 2 wobs.
Boo wob again.
Wobbed out the boo.
Is that Intuito? No, pre-rich.
Pre-rich with hat. So that's a special premium right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
The man himself. Oh, free. Yikes.
This isn't great.
Yikes.
No.
No,
Ugh.
no, no
Oh
again.
my lord. Come on, we need
No.
Oh
something to
no.
save me
Oh,
here.
nor. Oh, no, it's tuna.
Oh
Nor and
no.
tuna, they both look the
Oh,
same. Oh,
oh,
bro.
not ideal, Captain.
I would have taken an art school reject at that point.
Right. Checker, can I trade you one art school reject for all of this garbage? My DMs
Yes.
are open.
Ouch, man.
All
That's not
right.
At least
ideal.
there's at least 10 burn fodder there, so you can max out the fragment bonus.
Yep, yep. Oh, and that's another that's a great point you raised there, Clayton. When you have, just really bottom tier trash like that, do you go straight back into more fragments with it, or do you just sell it, list or sell into bids for the liquidity to buy what you want? Do you have a particular, strategy you like there?
Yeah, so general rule of thumb is burn floors, sell mids, and then stack kind of top 50 heroes. So
Mm,
those heroes riding on the line, if I think I can be patient and instead of getting floor, get an extra like 20% off of them, then I'll go ahead and list them.
mm.
But most times I'm burning. But also, a pointer for any newer players jumping in, you can max out the fragment bonus from burning by burning a minimum of 10. So try to make sure you burn in groups of 10.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep, yep, yep. You don't want to just burn a few. You want to kind of, if you stack and burn, you do better for sure.
Yep,
For sure.
absolutely. That is a great, great point, Clayton. Well, yeah, so that was me. Little lackluster. Let me see. What's that? Santiago. Let's see. Okay, might be able to squeeze zero point zero 0.02 out of him or so. So might do that.
Yeah, not
Well,
the worst.
not the worst, not the best, but that's my time, folks. They're waving me in the back. So Ezra, I'm gonna throw it over to you as I lick my wounds over here, and hopefully you performed a little bit better, my friend.
As I was saying or alluded to earlier, I did have quite a nice run initially.
Whew.
Oops, what happened? Claim.
How
So
dare you.
I ended up getting 0.18 ETH and 30 cards, so 3,000 frags,
Let's
which was nice.
go.
Yeah, it
Solid.
ended up really good. I went heavy in gold this time, so I managed to pull quite a lot of good ELO here.
Jeez, nicely done, man.
And then silver, I also managed to get a 14th and a 19th, which were looking tastier.
Nice.
I gotta say, they were looking a lot nicer up to the last day, but they dropped out of the top 10. Um, I did still have a lot of stragglers in the didn't qualify for ELO, but they farmed a fair bit of fan, and these add up in terms of frags. So yeah, absolutely cannot argue. It's nice to get a couple of good good scores across a few leagues. So yeah, bronze didn't really do great, but it's like, isn't that crazy? You get your plus 25 at 1400, but then you're straight out of luck here. Sorry, like, where am I going? Yeah, at like under, basically between 7 and 900, you're
Mm-hmm.
you're out of real low there. So yeah, it was a good one, to be honest. I feel at the moment, with so many heroes being maybe here, maybe not, maybe here, maybe not, and I actually use Clayton's HUD to see who's on the fence, and I tend to take a lot of the tags that you've got in there, like MIA, suspended, and see, when I start seeing these things and know that they've been happening for like a week or so, or a couple of weeks, I'll gamble with them. I'll throw them in. I'd rather play them, lose the ELO, but not have them in reverse. I just have a
Right on.
problem with playing some of these guys in reverse when I'm like, they could totally come back.
And every week that goes by, too, I would think that the odds of them coming back increases a little bit. So I like that strategy.
Yeah, I do try and go against, because I think it's so easy to look at your HUD and get that information. What you do with that is up to you. I know there's some things that are like clear. Okay, there's no point in playing this guy. Like Make, say for example, who's very vocal at being like, it's time for me to take a break. I'll be back the week after. Like I love that, but the guys that are on the fence, and I think we saw it with like the Vape Cabal and how they basically all fell out, but then we had Thread Guy coming back a bit, but then Frank didn't. I just think there's like a lot of uncertainty, and see if you include some of these guys at their lower scores, that could be the break you need to hit your top tens. So I'm always up for playing that gamble, and I think that's
Esther,
just my gambling mindset.
same question. Same question for you on the two awesome silver results. But is like what today is your favorite league to kind of put the most effort into, and then how many decks are you averaging playing each week?
Yeah, so in terms of the decks, let me quickly pull
And I
this up.
also don't know if it's my screen or not, but right now, looking at is that marketplace. That might just be a me problem right now.
That is a you problem because I can only see Silva's screen as well. But I believe, yeah, I don't know how on the. Have a look. I should be on the Molt site. Have a look on that link, the Ninja site, and see if you can see me on.
Okay.
If you can click onto me, you might be able to see it. But what I was going to say, I can explain what I'm looking at as well. But what was I going to say? I'm averaging about 50 decks, roughly. And in there, I'll mostly be playing Elite and Silver. But this last week, I played a lot more in Gold. I decided to hit up Gold a bit harder, and I think that was actually a good idea. I think my decks are a bit more suited to Gold. I feel like Elite is getting more and more competitive now to be in that top 100, to be honest. There's so many good decks in there that I thought Gold was a bit more achievable with what I have. I think good rares and like I've not got many epics. So yeah, I think good rares and even commons, like top 10 commons, can work really well when paired together in Gold as well.
Agreed. Yeah, I like seeing that strategy evolve, and what worked in Elite a month or so ago now is just the sweet spot is Gold. That
Yeah,
absolutely makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, and that was it. Like my best Gold decks were predominantly they were not top epics. I had a epic DCF, and then I had Orangey, Wiz, GG, and Davis. And then if we go down to silver, I was playing with Maxi Commons, DCF, Rasmer, Lawrence, Nick, Hart, Patty, and then DB Common again. So yeah, they weren't like crazy. I just used the. I think every week I sit and look at who I've got and try and scaffold my top one or two decks that I think I've got the most chance in each league. And if they don't suit a league, then I'll not put them in. I'll usually put like maybe 4 or 5 conviction decks that I think could do really well, and then I'll work with whatever's left based on the stars.
Were your two top 20 silver decks this week, were those conviction decks or some variants in there?
So I think one of them was the one with Rasmer. So I had Rasmer makes a commons, and then I paired them up with Nick Lawrence DCF rares. I think that was a conviction deck. The second one with DB, I can't actually remember if that was one that I thought would do really well. I'll need to have a dig through and double check where I am. But yeah, I think the top one was, but then certainly a lot of the other ones were. I think I hesitated on at least a couple of the guys in each one, like Farouk. I put Stowe in, even though I thought he was potentially going to be off. Like he was suspended up until like the last 2 hours before we started. So yeah, there was a fair bit of gambling in the rest of them that did quite well, I would say.
Right on. Running hot in the slots.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that
Hot on the
top silver
slots.
deck is just a thing of beauty, Ezrin. God.
Which one?
The top silver, that's 14th place silver. Yeah, with Nick, Lawrence, DCF rares, and just a little Rasmer and Makesy comment on the side. Like, that is so nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was. I mean, DCF could have ruined that. To be honest, Lawrence could have ruined it if his house didn't get flooded. I don't know if you saw that tweet,
Yeah, I
but
did. Yeah.
yeah, I think that saved him. Every cloud. No, I hope his house. Sorry.
Yeah, no, same. Hope your house is okay, Lawrence. But appreciate your service in the name of Fantasy Top.
Shout
Thanks
out,
for the
Lawrence.
points.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, last week I did some spins. They were terrible, as per Clayton's point. I got so much, like, 10 frags, 10 frags, 10
Oh,
frags, one pack, 10 frags. I was just like, this is the worst. So today I'm going full 31. Let's go.
let's go.
Clayton, did you manage to solve the... Can you see the screen now?
All I can see is marketplace Rams, so I'm guessing it's
Ah,
still a me problem.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, that's my screen. Let me see.
can you click on... I don't know. Can you, like, expand it for him or something? Because it's annoying, because even if you look at the Twitter live, I think it's delayed as well. Oh, you should be able to see now. Yeah, that was it. I think that was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
We
man.
got him. We got him. Right, here we go. Right, so what I want to get from this, I would love to finish off...
Oh yeah. What are you looking for? I know you've got an army of commons there that are really close to some upgrades.
I really want main.
Oh, Trader Main.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Trader Main.
I would love one or two trader mains. It's a lot to ask, but at the same time, I would also take uni picks.
Mm-hmm.
Stats. Still
Ooh.
trying to finish my rare stats. I've never had a rare stats. Let's see. See what we get.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That's
Oh
okay.
no.
It's
Oh,
it's
no.
because I was too quick. Here we go. They're just getting the good cards ready. That's it. We're just putting them in my pack.
Loading them up.
Right. We always have to go. Oh no!
Yeah, I don't know what that is. You click on them and they fly up, but they're not the ones. I don't know what that animation's supposed to represent.
What have they done? Right, here we go. Sinners. Not good. Right. No. I do love Gabriel Haynes' Day Will Come. When that day is, I don't know when it is, but I still collect Gabriel Haynes. Ugh.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Heyo.
Okay,
Oh.
good, but
Right.
where are you?
Oh,
Where are
oh.
you, man? And what's poking
Yeah,
through?
there we go.
Oh.
This could be nice. This
Come
could be
on.
nice.
Come on.
Are we ready?
Ooh.
Hey, not bad.
Okay.
Let's go.
It's not a bad rare, is it? Heath Damien. Jim. Nader.
Hater.
Come on. One last absolute banger.
Come on. One more, baby. One more. Not Nader. That's not what we meant.
No. Oh, that's always good when
Oh.
it doesn't work. Right. Something else didn't work.
Wild card.
I know, yeah.
Psycho. Okay.
Oh,
no, not again.
Seizure Tom Schmidt.
Oh,
Seizure,
no.
Seizure Smith. But this happened to me last week.
Last week was the
Caesar Sex.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Oh no, man.
Oh my
Right.
days.
What is going on? This is definitely like a me issue. I don't understand. Right, okay. We're gonna have to... That's us. We have to bail out. We have to bail out.
It wouldn't be Fantasy
no.
Top without something breaking during a pack rip.
Without one seizure.
31 was just too much.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Right, we have to go here, see what we get.
Maybe now you've learned your lesson, Ezra, and don't you dare win
Oh
30
my
cards again.
god! There was another rare in that pack.
Oh, rare
I
sex
got a
offender.
main! I got a
Oh,
main!
there's a main.
Let's
Hey,
go!
Yes! And I got a rare sex offender.
Wow!
That was a sick pack.
not
I got
bad.
a main.
Let's
A
go.
main and a Frank. That was good. Plus 2 rares.
And then that moon one, that is definitely a usable card.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that was nice.
GG, Ezra. An embarrassment of riches for you, man.
Woo!
I'm a big fan of Trader Main. A couple weeks ago, did a small sweep from what was available, and then upgraded too. I'm also a big fan of picking up all the commons and reducing the supply by 4 to move up.
Mm.
I love that. You're the reason I'm having a hard time getting it.
Yep.
Sorry.
Do you know, sometimes I have a thought, and then there will be an occasion where I suddenly see your tweet and I think, fuck. When I notice you've cleared off like 20% of the supply, I'm like, I shouldn't have been so patient about it.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been loving your analysis for why you pick up everything. Maybe
Cheers.
what's my analysis for why I pick things up? Is that what you said?
What?
Sorry.
No, oh no, I said cheers.
Oh, cheers! Oh, I thought you said what's yours. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, you've been great at it. It's been a pleasure to watch you kind of pick each person. I don't know if you maybe want to talk a wee bit about that strategy that you've been doing.
Yeah, so maybe just give kind of the genesis story of the HUD and how that's kind of
Oh yeah,
arrived to my really weird portfolio, if that works.
go for it.
Cool. So I've always been competitive in gaming. So Halo, Magic the Gathering, and then played poker for a living. And specifically in poker, I primarily played online and used a HUD, a heads-up display. And so using a HUD, playing against hundreds of thousands of different players at the tables, you could see hundreds of different data points, and you could make more informed decisions. So when I moved from poker to starting food technology companies about a decade ago, I still stuck around a lot of communities through crypto. So I've been in the space since 2012. Flash forward to early last year, I discovered the New Blast City community run by Eel.
Yeah.
Jumped in during their mint days. I loved the community because it was very much just like every day, let's share all the alpha, rising tide raises all ships, especially leading up to Blast's TGE.
Yeah.
And so post TGE, there were like a dozen plus of us playing super competitively in Fantasy Top, sharing kind of deck strategies, league strategies, crunching some numbers. And then along the way, I was inspired by other community members that we all chat with almost on the daily. Mole, HK, Carpenter, AIBRA. And I pitched Eel on the idea for building a Fantasy Top HUD to basically help players find the best hero for any deck in any league. So he provided a community grant through New Blast City. And then I brought on longtime friend and dev Social Sin to build out all of the HUD as a Chrome extension. And that was about 6 months ago. Flash forward to today, what's really crazy for the stats is 1 in every 15 Fantasy Top core players are using the HUD. 1 in every 7 decks being built is being built using the HUD. We have a free and a pro version. And now the New Blast City community specifically has over 100 Fantasy Top players with all a give first mentality. So we're always bantering 7 days a week. But the HUD specifically, what's cool is watching it evolve. It started with kind of just a couple of interesting stats. We wanted to focus on true EV and trending EV for heroes. So true EV is kind of their long-term expected score. Trending EV is more of their short-term volatile score. The closer those two numbers are together, the more consistent the hero. And then we've let the users actually help us develop everything else. So Esther, I think you mentioned, the AFK, MIA, or suspended tags.
Yeah.
The tags have been really helpful in kind of the week to week of somebody's on vacation. Here's the tag. Somebody has the politics tag. Anything along those lines helps you make just a more informed and data-driven decision going into the next week's tournament.
Yeah, because it basically gets you to think like what's coming up next week that could basically top the table? Like, is there a big political event like the inauguration? Is there, you know, and then you can even think about the fact that you're being told someone's been suspended, that you've been maybe benching for a week or two. It's like, well, maybe I think, like, quite often I think people tend to get their accounts back within 2 to 3 weeks, so there's a great chance that person could get their account back this week. So that would then help me decide whether to gamble with that guy or bench them in reverse.
Exactly. And that's a good opportunity too when you're thinking about building decks, no matter what league, is are there heroes that you could potentially free roll with? And what I mean by that is, as an example, you guys know me, I'm a ELO maxi. And
Nice.
I, when I've focused on building for this week's tournaments for main 42, I realized in bronze for me to get top 13%, I only needed to aim for about 2,400 to 2,500 points. And so going through the HUD, I realized that 4 hero lineups with essentially DCF, Makesy, like ICO Beast, Clement, that was above 2,500 for expected score. So that fifth hero, that fifth slot in the deck, as long as it's a 1-star, was essentially a free roll. So being the biggest holder of Thread Guy in the game, I said, okay, there's 13 Thread Guys, there's 13 free roll opportunities, and it worked out pretty well. So like 15 of the 17 decks gained ELO, even though Thread Guy was in almost all of them and scored the 0. But that was a good opportunity to look for a free roll, and I think that's really important for players to think through of, what kind of point threshold do you need to get or want to get to? How could you give yourself more upside, such as a Thread Guy comeback?
That's crazy, man. Imagine he posted, you would have absolutely ripped up.
Dude, that would have been
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah. It would have taken up like 12 of the top 25 bronze deck slots.
Bloody hell. Your day will come, for
One of
sure.
these days.
Yeah,
and
that's
Clayton,
nuts.
and Clayton, I'm sure as as a former poker player yourself, you can identify that although it might not have worked out this time, that was still the optimal strategy, right? Because if it did hit, like you said, you would have taken half of the top 25 spots. I mean, and you would have absolutely cleaned up. So it's about taking those calculated risks and knowing, I mean, really how you just perfectly laid out. I know what the minimum threshold of score I need is. And if I can get just one slot where I've got, like you said, a free roll and they can really pop off, as we know Thread Guy can. I mean, he can be a top 10 hero on his day. That I mean that puts you in the best position to succeed at those highest levels.
Yeah, it's fun to just to kind of crunch those numbers, and as we've seen so many heroes, step away, rotate out off and on for their away weeks. It's pretty important to kind of just like decide like how consistent you want to be, and we have a bunch of HUD users who actually just go for the wins every week. So the variance, like it kind of looks like a makesy tournament score graph up and down. Whereas then I'd much rather just like a slow little, step staircase up and to the right.
Mm.
Yeah, your choices are always like, if you pull up you've got Clayton's
Yeah, I'm on his page right now.
portfolio there.
His portfolio is just amazing.
It's super
It's
tailored. Like, I feel like consistency is definitely one of your, like, whenever I see your decks in the lineup, the ones that you always pair together are always like the super consistent heroes.
much appreciated. Yeah, that comes from identifying the most mispriced heroes. So we were working on a new HUD product, a trader slash marketplace HUD. Realized that it would not be good to put that out there because the algorithms could help us understand the most mispriced heroes. And I don't think that's a good idea to have into the hands of too many people. But what I ended up doing was just sweeping the most mispriced hero. So I've done that about 5 times now. Tried to become the largest global holder of each one of those heroes sweeping. So yeah, like ICO, Wizard of Soho, uh, Rasmer, all of those started as commons where I had like, a dozen to 2 dozen of them. Horse. And as I focused on ELO, that has, constricted into to upgrade, which I think is a really good thing because again, it's shrinking the supply of the heroes.
Yeah, for sure. And have you noticed, even focusing on ELO, like, are you benching a lot more than you used to?
So Since my collection has shrunk, like of course this week I literally just as soon as I got done using the HUD to realize these 4 hero combinations, which you can see in my X post of all the lineups that I did. So I had to go to the marketplace to buy DCF, Makesy. I think I picked up a couple more thread guys because I had almost all the rest of the lineup, and I just wanted a free roll. But most weeks I am utilizing like this week I utilized every single card in my collection except for my 6 rare Franks.
Nice. I mean, I guess that's one thing that's tough with your kind of going in hard strategy is like how do you deal with the fact that someone like Frank, who you were super highly invested in, like goes MIA? Like, are you just gonna hold on, wait for the switch out, or wait for him to come back, or how are you kind of playing the fact that a big investment is sitting kind of unused?
Yeah, yep. So a lot of players have asked me, like, how does it feel to have him bench? And it sucks. But the big thing for me was when I had the conviction to sweep these heroes, I got in for pretty good cost basis. So like
Mm-hmm.
Frank for me was around 0.035.
Wow.
And so clear up until inflation degree changed, I was pretty happy with that. Now I'm sure
Yeah.
we'll see him open in many more packs. But out of the 6 heroes I've swept so far, he's been the only one to go essentially below my cost basis. So sitting in the green with the other 5, especially like Horse was my first one, Beast was my second one, and so Beast like 0.08, 0.09 was picking up commons. For then I did my own upgrades on 3 of the 4 of the rares.
Wow.
That's amazing because I mean, you also by doing that are basically impacting the floor price. If these heroes don't slip and they stick being kind of top 10, top 20 heroes every week, they won't get any more inflation. So you're basically, even if you overpay for maybe, like, imagine there's 10 on the market and they fluctuate like from cheapest to most expensive. There's maybe a bit of a diff there. You can still pretty much be convinced that after you take possession of most of them, the price is only going to go up if anyone wants to get hold of them.
Yeah, and I target so specifically into the nerdy algorithms that I've built out. It shows me I have to be like a 3% or more holder for most of the time for it to work out and appreciate. And when I look in the marketplace, there's actually multiple heroes that I'm like, okay, it shows they're way off and mispriced right now, like way underpriced. So I go
Mm.
to the marketplace and there's like 1.5% of the total supply is available in the marketplace. And I actually need to wait because I don't want to buy 1.5% of the supply and then pay a premium on the next 1.5% of the supply.
Gotcha. So it's also timing when the
Big
most
time.
are up for sale. That's tough. That's tough, especially if you're sitting on it and you know it and you're just waiting for. You're hoping that
I know.
someone else doesn't swoop in and do it.
I've missed a couple of opportunities where I was also like it was like one card short of being that number, and I told myself I wanted to be really rigid. Looking back, big mistake. Should have just swept. Especially with bigger players like Otto coming in and
Yeah.
constantly saying like list list list, and that is, I mean that's making some people look to kind of X out of one hero entirely because they know he's willing to essentially pay a premium, and then to jump in and kind of diversify their portfolio. So the timing just around when Otto asks, somebody to list something, I'm trying to pay attention to that as well.
Yeah, there's Otto's an absolute frenzy to get hold of as much of quite a few different heroes at the moment. But I mean, it's a great strategy to basically corner the market on certain top tier heroes. Like, I know, I think Otto lose his streak this week? Did he win?
That's a
Well, I
great
actually don't know
question.
who
Yeah, I don't
who
know who
won
took
this week.
first. Let's see.
I know it was close. I can find out.
It was Arc Space.
Oh,
Ooh,
Arcface back on top.
Yep.
yeah.
I think
Does
Trapdoor is definitely going to have his day in the sun here shortly. His legendary Kale buy, I don't think panned out as well as he would have liked because he finished, I think, 120th, around there, something like that. But I mean, we saw this is probably that lineup. Yep, we saw last week
Oh wow.
he purchased this Ansem for 13 or 15 ETH, something along those lines. He went ahead, he upgraded to a legendary Ram right here. So I mean, with Epic Mert, Epic Kook, if this even gets 1,000 more points, right? I mean, that's very very doable for a regular kind of Kaleo post. I mean, what he would have gone from 81.5 to 9. Yep, he would have gone to first place.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's wild.
That is a wild
Wild lineup.
lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He who I big props, huge props for Trapdoor, aka Drunken Fist. You can find him on Twitter. Yeah, I mean he paid up. He paid DGen Ape Trader for this Ansem. It was the largest sale we've had in 6 months. And I think that just reflects something we've been talking about for a while now, which is the marketplace has been hot. I mean, we've seen big sales with big buys. So just kind of tying into everything you were talking about, Clayton. Just loved your insight there. How has really kind of the transformation in the marketplace over the last 3 to 6 weeks, where we've seen bids constantly being pushed up. We've seen really a nice premium on some of these top heroes, like you have ICO Beast, Rasmer, Soho. Are you still trying to kind of follow that strategy you outlined there with Ezrin that you've been following for months now, starting with Horse, where you identify an undervalued hero and you want to own, like you said, that 3% kind of sweet spot of their supply? Or do you think you've really kind of taken a step back from trying to do that, since the marketplace is, I mean, prices are pumping. So I'm curious how you've handled that with the recent kind of ongoings there.
Yeah, so at the base of it all, I see it as, if there's a main every week, you're going to get 52, chances to gain essentially an APY off of these heroes. And so that's why my philosophy is you've got to utilize the heroes. I don't get personally too excited about reverse. There's been a couple of times it's like a very clear reverse winner deck and submit and reap some rewards off of it. But at the base of my philosophy is, burning the floor, selling the mids, and playing the top 50 heroes. When I say kind of like selling the mids, it's most times I don't want to focus on silver and gold. So for instance, this week I did, simply because some of the previous 8-star heroes were 5, 6, 7, and so that was kind of a sweet spot for that 25-star lineup for me. But I'm looking to invest more. For instance, this week, as soon as I discovered kind of the Makesy DCF lineups there, and I could already pair them with Clement and one of my 8-stars, that gave me a pretty good opportunity to make the investment in the short term for the ELO exposure. Whereas in the coming weeks, the likelihood of me rotating out of some of these common heroes that I specifically played in main 42, I will continue to stack kind of the top heroes, so the heroes I've swept before.
Gotcha. Super interesting. Ever since you kind of outlined that strategy with your very first post on Horse after you swept, I've I've just been so curious to see who you're collecting in your portfolio, who you're identifying as undervalued. Because I mean, I think you can see here the scores speak for themselves. Like from Horse to ICO to Rasmer to Soho. Like I mean, you've absolutely killed it on that identification and execution front. So just Matt, we're big about giving out flowers to the people who deserve it. Whether they're a builder, a player, everything in this space. And so just massive kudos to you for identifying an edge there and really acting on it and making it work for you. It's awesome to see.
Much appreciated. Yeah, it's been fun. It's like it's kind of conviction play, right? And there's so many different things that go into finding a hero, but a couple of kind of like maybe alpha bits for the audience today. So when you think about kind of like a top 50 hero, you can go into the Fantasy Top Core and look at their graph and see like how often out of the last 20 tournaments or mains have they been in the top 50. That does provide like a high level, really good overview. But it's worth understanding again their tag of what they're known for, because if there's seasonality to that tag, like for instance politics, like Adam Cochran of course is crushing it right now. there will come a time where the politics tag isn't a hot topic. So the question is when, and could you get 52 weeks of consistent APY from a hero like Adam Cochran? Whereas in some of the other like tags, like the shit posting tag, is I mean there's always something to be shit posting about on the crypto Twitter space. So if the hero has that tag or a content tag, the consistency is probably going to be a little bit more than, let's say, a politics tag.
Yeah.
And then also something I identified with Horse and ICO being the first two sweeps is something that about the time I jumped into fantasy, so main one last year, I kind of had this personal thesis, and then a couple of friends kind of started to prove that of like attention fi and social fi being this crazy kind of like literal mind share. And so the more authenticity someone has, and especially if they've been either ranked highly via ethos as an example, or they've doxed themselves, I think that is going to cut through a lot of the noise and kind of the crypto space, especially going into this year.
Oh man, I got to be honest. I can't wait to listen to this one back, Clayton, because you are just a wealth of knowledge. Like I'm almost stunned here, just sitting here listening. Like the insights you're providing, the analysis, like this is the absolute tip top level of what's going on in fantasy top. And we've talked about it before. There's a lot of ways to play this game. Whether you want to just play it on its face of playing the competitions mains week in week out, whether you want to just be a marketplace flipper, identifying some of those kind of some of those softer edges that you found. There's so much to do in fantasy top, and I couldn't agree more that social fi, attention fi, these things, they're only going to become more dominant, right? And I just think fantasy top is the product that melds all of that together so well. Man, it is just so exciting. I'm over here geeking like a nerd.
I'm excited because you guys, I mean, every single week bring new, existing veteran players, like everybody together, and I can guarantee everybody can learn something from catching you guys every week.
I think it's the greatest thing about the game is there's like a million ways you can play it. You can have a tiny you can go loads of mids like I do. You can go super niche and fight for top ELO, but you've got, you know, heroes that target 52 weeks of the year. Like, and I think with people like Horse and ICO, like those are perfect examples of non-seasonal. Um, and then it's just yeah, it's super. It's that's what I love the most. And I tend to look at the Molts tool just to see like who's running loads of decks like me. What sort of decks are they running? What sort of things are they pulling in terms of rewards every week? And I tend to try and find the players that are similar to how I play. But then my ELO is on the deck. Like I'm shocking at that in comparison to some of you guys. Like I know we talked. You probably talk a lot in New Blast City with Seth, like corruption. He's big on ELO. I know he focuses quite a lot on that, like you. Um, and and then it gets me questioning my approach and gets me thinking about could I change this, could I change that. So I think it's great talking to I think it's great chatting to new people in this show and just finding out how they play, and yeah, it's always super interesting.
Seth is an OG. He was the very first Pro HUD user.
Oh no
So
way,
I
there we go.
love jamming. Matter of fact, like half of the early updates was based on his feedback. That's greatly appreciated.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Seth is
Nope.
just that is who he is. He is early. He is very critical in the best way, giving great feedback. Ezra and I have known Seth for several years now at this point in MVHQ, and just such a great person and friend to have to play this game with, to bounce ideas off of. And like you guys both kind of touched on, even just the fantasy top community is special in its own way, right? Like where this is a competition, you do want to win. There is real money at stake every single week, and yet you go on Twitter and most of the people on fantasy top related Twitter are holding hands and we're singing kumbaya. It really is just a special little corner of crypto Twitter you won't get anywhere else.
Amen.
Yeah, and one other thing that I would say as well, you mentioned pro users. So you have a paid version, and then I am mainly using the free one. But do you want to talk a bit about the two different versions, what you get, how you get it, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the free version, you essentially have an all hero tab, and on that hero tab, you can filter by the stars, the true and trending EV. The points per star is our newest metric that we've rolled out, and you can also filter by all of the tags, like if they have the Catalyst event, AFK, if they're a builder, politics, etc. Then you can have on the pro version, you actually have a tab that's specific to your collection. So that's when it brings in all of the rarities. And then you can go into the locked tab to compare heroes side by side. You can also build decks. And as you build decks, it shows you the point threshold that's needed for in the ETH is what we call it. So to score at least 0.004 ETH, like 399th place in reverse. You can also see the in the money targets to gain at least 100 fragments. And then we've just recently added the tab for ELO. So that came from the dev.fun, the hackathon that Fantasy Top helped run. I built out this ELO calculator, and everybody liked it so much that we ended up just adding that to the HUD. So you just scroll, choose your ELO percentage, and it'll show you the expected points you need to score in Elite, Gold, Silver, or Bronze.
That's cool. I need to use that. I didn't realize that was there.
It's been fun, and again, like 99% of it has evolved from the user feedback. I think that's so important to put the users and customers first. And the free one, they're both available in the Google Chrome extension store. So Fantasy Top Player HUD free, and then Fantasy Top Player HUD Pro. For the Pro, you just need to reach out to us either via fthuds.com or just jump in the New Blast City Discord.
And just as an aside there, on my screen, I've been sharing. If anyone needs the info, you can get it all on X at Fantasy FT HUDs, which is at Fantasy Top HUDs. He has a HUD feature walkthrough here, links it to himself. He's got a nice little video showing how to use his tool to get the best of it, to get the best out of your lineups, your portfolio. Yeah, if you're looking for a way to take your own game to the next level in Fantasy Top, I cannot stress how incredible of a tool Fantasy Top HUD is. So, thank you just for building it and coming on here to really, give it the platform it deserves, right? Hopefully reach some more people, get some more subs, get some more, even just some free to play players, get them on there using it, getting familiar with, how useful it can be, and upgrading them to the pro version, which, Ezra and I have both trialed. And yeah, just great stuff, man. You're just killing it from the player perspective, from the developer perspective. Like I said, massive kudos to you, Clayton.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the support across the board. And I should leave you with this, that we had everybody vote on what we should focus on next. And the winners was a Monad fantasy HUD.
Ooh.
So with the new API updates that the Fantasy Top team just pushed today, I think we're going to jump into that.
Very, very exciting stuff. I mean, and that's so funny. We've gone an hour now. We didn't even touch on Monad once. Like there is so much going on in this one little corner of crypto Twitter on Fantasy Top. And I mean, you have a weekly hour-long show and you can't even cover it all. Like if that doesn't speak to it, I don't know what will.
Amen.
Oh man.
Yeah. All I've got to say on Monad is my rewards this week were 0.
Oh, the variance.
Yeah, I think I was lucky to break the 70,000th in silver.
Isn't that
or
crazy
bronze.
though? Almost 500,000 decks. That's just insane.
I mean, yeah. Goes back to your earlier point on social-fi, attention-fi. It is real. It is going to be one of the biggest kind of, I think, onboarding tools, as well as just kind of attention grabbers of that our space is going to see for the next few months and years, really. I mean, we've seen Kaido, they monetized it with their own token, on top, building everything on top of Twitter the same way Fantasy Top does. It just, the possibilities for what this team can do really reach to the stars. And I am geeked up over here thinking about, I mean, we've been doing this for almost a full year now, fellas, and where I really genuinely feel like we're only scratching the surface with it. So just excited for what's to come.
Yeah,
For
and
sure. Yeah,
one
top of
one
the first
other.
inning.
Sorry, man. Yeah. Sorry, I'll let you finish, Clayton.
No, that was it. Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I was just gonna say shout out to some of the people in MVHQ, mainly Checker and 18 Pages. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are killing it on Monad. Those guys, they have been trading like crazy on the Monad site, with the free to play, and some of their decks are insane. So yeah, it's possible. I just need to spend some time doing it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think Checker in MVHQ, I think he's gotten 2 top 20 or 30 finishes in Elite in a row now in the Monad competitions. And that's with no sibling. He's using one account. He's just playing the market inefficiencies on the marketplace. I think here, where did
That's
he say
wild.
it? He said
He was
something. Sorry, go ahead, Ezra.
Yeah, I was gonna say his thing that he spotted, which I hope he doesn't get annoyed if we give out his alpha, but he was basically saying that people trade with the current score. So if you if you basically if the tournament ends and some really good player isn't in the top 10, people just floor them. And he just sits there and just picks them up, and then quite often if the player does well the week after, he sells it for like 5x profit.
That's
And he just
wild.
says the inefficiencies in the marketplace are insane, that everyone's just basically trading with the current exact score. So like Hugo Martingale, I think, was the one he picked up like for
Mm-hmm.
pennies and then flipped for like 10x, and he bought loads of them at the time. Yeah, he's killing it on there. He's doing really good work.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
understanding the who's who, basically, and just knowing that someone can have an off week.
Yeah, he said in the chat here he bought 5 common Hugos for 50 F Mon each, so a total of 250 fantasy monad. Sold the level up rare for 1800 fantasy monad and used that to buy a rare ICO. Like,
That's how it's
Okay.
done. Incredible.
Yeah, that's it.
flipping pennies into $100 bill is what he did right there. Just again, the multitudes of ways you can play this game and you can capitalize on inefficiencies. There's just too many to count. And that's part of the fun, part of the excitement that brings me back every single week.
Yeah, we may have to. I don't know what's happened, but I think the X has rugged. I'm noticing it's not working anymore, and it was reported by our man Poop as well, so it might have been kicked off X.
Oh, really? Interesting. It's still says live on my browser. Oh, okay. I think it might have just been really bad lag.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Well, we are at the top of the hour here, so probably prudent of us to start wrapping it up, anyways. So last little segment of the show, we usually look toward the marketplace to see who might be a decent buy, who might be someone we want to speculate on for next week. So, fellas, anyone, either of you guys want to shout out that you're looking at for next week, whether due to a star adjustment or maybe some sort of announcement or kind of platform protocol related thing that someone's launching. Anyone got your eye this week?
Esther, you
Uh,
want to go? Go.
yeah, I could go. So nothing as clear as that, in terms of what I'm looking to do. I quite liked my new deck positioning in gold this week, so I'm looking to maybe try and pick up some mid epics, or epic, depending on how far I can stretch my money. But I'm looking to maybe get a few 4 to 6 star ranged epics to pair up with some of my top rares and play a bit more in gold. So that's what I'm looking to do. So I've got my eye on a few people like Zach or maybe Jez. I've got a few that I'm thinking I might try and target. So I'm probably going to send out a few feeler bids and see if I can maybe tick on getting a couple more epics to play with. That's my main thing I'm targeting.
Nice. I love that. I love your expansion into gold there. Just another league that you'll get to kick my butt on. But what's new there?
Esther, and I should ask you, are you done picking up the trader mains, or do you need more?
I need more. I need two.
Okay, then I won't say that I'm looking to sweep trader mains anytime soon.
Damn, my time
But
is
that's
limited.
a well, so the
I
how I
love
like to
it.
think about it too is an opening prizes. Like if you pull like an awesome hero and that's your first or second copy, it may make sense to start to try to compound those so you can level up. So like for instance, last week from prizes I pulled a Mert. So now I'm paying attention
Nice.
to the Mert price because
Oh,
solid hero, don't want to sell. But I'll leave you guys with my thoughts around Fantasy's kind of path to the 100,000 daily active users. So what I think is going to happen, this is my like I'd be willing to bet something on it, is I put out this like long post I think almost a month ago now, and the idea around it was I felt like Fantasy is going to do something like the Magic Arena platform. So it's like essentially Magic Arena is free to play, but it's a funnel for getting people to the core game. So then of course Monad Fantasy rolls out. If it follows the playbook that I think they're doing, the next step is for Fantasy to roll out an entirely new funnel in the attention fi and social fi space. And so how I described that was in my mind as a Kaido and Ethos user. Kaido is attention fi, lovely graphics for the mind share and the visualizations, whereas in Ethos is the social fi, the credibility. I think Fantasy could jump into that space with kind of their own take on it. And if that's the case, then they'll have gone from step one, the free to play, to step two, giving people a reason to go to the Fantasy Top core app, not necessarily from even playing or speculating on the NFTs and the hero cards, but
Hmm.
seeing it as this mix and kind of melting pot of attention fi and social fi. So I am fingers crossed. I think that's the direction, and that makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, that's super cool. Um, I think games like Silva and I are very much into the Pokemon TCG. That's where we spend a lot of our time chatting and doing stuff. But
Oh, right
the
on.
Magic the Gathering is, they've done a lot in terms of the online and bringing in new players and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think that'd be cool to see how that works.
yeah, agreed
I
there.
think big opportunity.
Yep, couldn't agree more. I think the devs have showed they have a willingness to try, break things, fix them, try again. So I have no doubt we will get there. And I would love to see a sort of Magic the Gathering, their approach to it, the way they do their online game, almost similar-ish to Hearthstone in a way. But yeah, I just think there's so much meat on the bone here, and yeah, can't wait to see kind of where else we go in the next few weeks and months, fellas.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I still feel confident, like happy to put more money in and build up my position. Like, I still feel I don't feel worried about it, even though you can kind of see your ETH value every day and just think, oh god, that's a lot. But um, should I take some off the table? Shouldn't I? It's a tough one to play with, but I feel like I just enjoy playing it, and you know, long may it continue.
Yeah, I mean, I think one
Amen.
one last point to that is just look at how seemingly every asset has just been nothing but red over the last few weeks and months, and yet fantasy has done nothing but show strength over strength, week over week. I mean, increasing kind of volume, increasing floor prices, increasing bids. Like it's not just fake or vaporous volume. There's real heavy bidders coming in. Like we talked about in the form of auto, the form of trapdoor. People want these cards. People want to play the game at a high level, and that gives me all the hope I really need. So yeah.
Great place to leave it, I
Supply
think.
crunch is real.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, don't I know it? As I'm here, I'll come back over to my screen as I'm trying to acquire one last RAM for an upgrade to a rare, and there are none listed currently. So bully for me.
Oh no. Ram's a hard one. I've never been lucky with a Ram. Do you remember you pulled two from packs?
I pulled
The
two
same pack.
back to back. I pulled a RAM, was screaming my head off. The next card, also a RAM.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
almost like you forgot to click. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
yeah.
'cause you, can I click it? Click it. Yeah, unreal, man. 2 Rams back to back.
Yep. So I mean, there's no reason
Wow.
why I shouldn't be trying to upgrade to a rare in my mind. And hey, if I get lucky and I get that juicy skip, and I can get to an epic or even a legendary, oh boy, we're cooking.
That would be
There
cool.
you go.
Well, I think that about brings us to it. Thank you so much for everyone sticking around. We're just over 800 viewers right now, so absolutely great kind of traction, I feel like, in my eyes. Clayton, thank you so much, brother. I can't begin to express how much we appreciate your time this morning with all this, your expertise, your analysis, your insights. Like I said, you're a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate you sharing it so openly with Ezra and I and the entire fantasy community, because really that's what it's about. It's about growing the game, growing to be better together. So thank you again. We really appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. Open source for the win.
Yes, sir. All right, Ezra, any final words?
No, have a good week. Catch up with you all next week.
Sounds good. And that'll be it from us here over at Fantasy Top Down, presented by Metaverse HQ. Everyone, have a wonderful week, and we will see you for the next main competition.